Hi, welcome back to Traveling Petite Girl, and if you're new here, my name is Jojo and I like to grow through blogging, travel, and just trying to live my best life and share it in a way for you guys to learn from me. So today's video is going to be about blogging, and it's going to be about the and it's going to be about the worst blogging mistakes. If you find that your progression in blogging has been kind of slow, maybe you might learn a thing or two and how to switch it up and change things and hopefully grow your blog even better and faster. Just so you know, I'm not shaming anyone who has done these mistakes. For one thing, I've done all of these mistakes, that's why I'm sharing it with you, alright? So let's get started. Number 1, stop boxing yourself into a niche. So by doing this, not only are you not honoring your creativity, you're also not being fully self-expressed, which is pretty much the point of blogging. You want to express yourself. And as a creative, it's really important to explore where your creativity wants to go, riding that wave and finding out where it's going to take you. So instead, try this. Consider that you are the niche, and whatever you talk about will still fulfill the mission of your blog. For example, Jennifer Scott from The Daily Connoisseur, I love her YouTube channel and her books. Her mission is to help women live with more style and more elegance. So you might think that niche is like fashion, maybe bordering on lifestyle, but she actually talks about everything from building a 10-item capsule wardrobe to meal prepping, and even has ASMR videos of her cleaning her house. And if you go over to her channel and look at her body of work, you can tell that she's not limiting herself to a niche, but still fulfilling out her mission. She's basically living a life that's true to her and sharing it in a way that helps other people do it too. Which is basically what I always tell people about blogging. Your blog is about you, and it's about you improving your life, making it better, and sharing it in a way for people to learn from you. So if you think about it, Jennifer is a niche. It's not fashion, it's not lifestyle. And you can consider that you're the niche too. So think about what the bigger mission of your blog is. Then see if that certain piece of content that you've been wanting to create fits into that mission. So speaking of niches, if you're thinking of expanding niches or completely switching, check out my video here on why you should change niches and why you shouldn't, and how to do it if you feel that that's the right step for you. Number 2, stop boxing yourself into a brand. So this is another version of stop boxing yourself into a niche, but this time for your brand. So the brand that you choose and what you start off with is simply what it is, what you start off with. It's not your end-all be-all brand that you must follow for years. It's actually normal for new brands to change because as you go, you get clarity on your mission, on your blog, and the kind of impact that you want to make on the world, which will, of course, change your brand. And if your brand is based on you, your lifestyle, and you notice that your brand isn't changing, maybe you're not growing. I don't know, that's just something to think about. I could be wrong. So instead, try this. Give yourself permission to step outside of your brand and create, then curate. Think of it as an experience that you want to see if it works or not. Basically, think of all the content that you want to create. Doesn't matter if it's within your niche or within your brand. Then as you create more content, you get a better idea of what you like talking about more. Then you can go ahead and curate what it is that you want to talk about. This also takes the pressure off of trying to create the perfect brand right from the start. And this might go against what other people say and maybe what I've even previously taught, but I've now recently learned that you don't even have to create a brand to start a blog. By nature, your brand will develop itself as you create content. Number 3, stop creating content for likes and views. I mean, this is kind of a no-brainer, but I'm kind of thinking of it in this situation where I've seen people go on YouTube and they say, I'm going to make another video about X topic because apparently that's the only kind of video that gets views. Like, no. This is just another way of boxing yourself. And if you operate this way, this is kind of operating out of fear. Like, I don't want to talk about X because it doesn't get a lot of views, or I don't want to talk about X because people won't like me, or I don't want to talk about X because I won't feel validated. And at the end of the day, you're still not fully expressed. And if you have not gotten the point yet, I'm all about you being fully self-expressed because that's what I'm trying to get in my life. Just be more fully self-expressed. So first, stop trying to please your audience. Life is too short for that. Second, being scared that not a lot of people will like it, kind of a scarcity mindset. So instead, try this. Give yourself permission to blog for yourself, not for your audience. and believe that no matter what content you create, it's gonna find its way to people who like it. And maybe you just don't know if people will like it because you haven't talked about it long enough for it to actually reach people. So this is more from a technical point of view, but in my experience, it takes 3 months to 1 year for my content to get consistent views. And I'm talking about the content on my blog, on YouTube, and in Pinterest. So you just need to keep working on it. It takes time. This is why you should blog about something you can talk about for hours without return, without money, without attention, without likes and views, because for a good while, no one's going to see your content. And then as you create more content and become a better content creator, you're going to create that one piece of content that goes viral. And then people will see your body of work, and then hopefully they'll follow you from there. Number 4, stop creating the perfect website, especially if you've been stuck on it for months. And especially if you don't plan to write your first blog post until you finish perfecting your website to show to the whole world. There's no perfect way to launch your blog, your brand, or your business. You're just gonna have to start telling people, even when it looks imperfect. So instead, try this. Realize that good enough is good enough, and you are good enough. Whether you're building a website or anything that you're just stuck at, create a list of what you need to get done in order to complete the task. Then divide that list into 2, between like what you actually need and what are the bells and whistles. Complete what you need to get done first and move on to the next step, because you can always go back to adding the bells and whistles later. So what's important here is that you don't lose your momentum and that you don't stop. Just like driving a car, it's harder and slower to gain momentum if you're stopping all the time. Number 5, stop making money with only ads, sponsorships, and affiliates. So when people think about monetizing their blog, they first think of using their blog as ad space, collaborating with brands through sponsorships, and selling products with affiliate links. And there's nothing wrong with that. I make money that way too. But in my opinion, I think it shouldn't be the only way to make money, especially if you're a new blogger. And to make money through ads and affiliates, you need to have a steady stream of traffic to your content. And to get sponsorships with brands, you need to have some form of a following. And it's hard to have both of these when you're really just getting started. So instead, try this. Start offering products and services. I know it takes more time and more energy because first you have to think about what to sell. Then you have to create it. And then you have to market it and then continuously market it. And it's a lot of work, but at least all that work is going towards your brand, not someone else's brand. Because if you're going to put in so much work to promote a product, it may as well be yours. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with making money with ads, sponsorships, and affiliates. I think it's a great passive income. I just think you can think bigger, play bigger, and have more skin in the game when you sell something you made. And that feeling you get when you sell something for the very first time, it's really priceless. And I want you to experience how powerful that feeling is. Number 6, stop doing things the right way, i.e. the hard way. So this piece of advice is for the perfectionist who always has to do things the right way, and that the right way is sometimes the harder way. But to me, I think it's just adding unnecessary obstacles and hoops to jump through. Maybe you'll learn a new skill, but will that new skill actually be valuable to you in the future? More valuable than, let's say, getting better at your craft. For example, you're a photographer and you want to build a website to show your portfolio. So you can do it the hard way by building it from scratch and learning code because for some reason you believe that that's the right way. And there's really no wrong answer with that. So you learn how to code, but is that skill valuable to your career as a photographer? So instead, try this. Change your mindset to do things the easy way instead. And consider that the easy way is the right way. Consider buying a website template where all you have to do is plug in your photos, colors, text, and boom, you have a website. Or considering hiring a friend to do it for you. Now you're allowing yourself more time to focus more on your craft and become even better at it while still getting other things done stress-free and on the side. Also, your energy is limited. Look at what you're good at and what you're not good at. Make smart choices by knowing when to challenge yourself because everything does not have to be a challenge. Number 7, stop shaming yourself for not posting consistently. So, I get how important it is to post consistently, like once a week is what I teach people, but you're also not a cog in the machine, especially if you're a one-person shop. And just like nature, we go through seasons. We'll go through a season where we bear fruit through spring and summer. And it's great because we're putting out a lot of content and it feels really great to create. But just like trees, we also have to recuperate from creating, like fall and winter. And it's okay to do this. Mother Nature does this and we're human. So instead, try this. Post content that's consistent with who you are. Quality over quantity. And also take the stress off of creating by allowing yourself to stop and take a break. And for you workaholics, I know it's hard to believe that you're being productive when you rest, but rest is necessary to create. So that means resting is productive. I know someone like this and she wonders why she's burnt out all the time. The recurring conversation that we have is that she needs to stop and take a break. And a way for her to do that is to schedule rest time into her planner to make sure that she actually has time for it, because her excuse was, I don't have enough time. Turns out she wasn't actually allowing herself to have enough time for it. Maybe you're the same? Anyway, just post content that's consistent to yourself. Let your creativity lead the way and let your body of work be a reflection of you and let it speak for itself. That way you can look back at it and be proud of what you created. And lastly, number 8, stop researching. So if you're like me, maybe you want to have all your research done and all your tools ready so that you're prepared for the next step of whatever it is you're working on. And maybe you're doing this because you want to get clear of what to do first before you actually do it. Well, guess what? You're never going to get clear on what to do until you actually do it. That said, I do want to acknowledge that there is a knowledge gap. Maybe you want to start a blog and you literally have no idea how to get started. So you have to research in order to fill that knowledge gap. I understand that. But there is a fine line between filling that gap just enough to get started versus learning more than what you need to know and getting ahead of yourself. And by default, I always do this. So I always have to keep reminding myself to stop this. And this stems from me feeling like I'm not good enough. So I have to research more than I need to know in order to feel like I'm good enough or feel like that I know enough. And for others or for you, it could also be the same. It could also stem from perfectionism, trying to make things as perfect as possible, or fear of failure and disappointment. So instead, try this. If you don't know where that fine line is, same thing with the checklist. Write a short checklist of what you need to learn for the first step. Like 2 to 3 things, the bare minimum that you need to know. Then get in action. Don't even think about it, just do it. Then repeat this before you move on to the next step. Oftentimes, doing too much research and having too much knowledge, sometimes too much knowledge can be bad because it can lead us to overwhelm, when really we're actually just getting ahead of ourselves. So just take it one baby step at a time. So to wrap up, these are the things to stop doing. Stop boxing yourself into a niche. Stop boxing yourself into a brand. Stop creating content for likes and views. Stop creating the perfect website or the perfect whatever. Stop making money with only ads, sponsorships, and affiliates. Stop doing things the right way, i.e. the hard way. Stop shaming yourself for not posting consistently. And stop researching. So all these mistakes I've mentioned, these were all the worst blogging mistakes that I've done. And maybe you're doing it too. And it's okay. The best way to avoid these mistakes is having done it, learning the impact of how it slows your progress, and then moving on. So I hope that from this video you realize a few things that you can improve on or maybe switch up, and what I tell you to stop doing might not even work for you. At the end of the day, it's about doing what works for you, not for me or for anyone else. So just go with your gut, honor your intuition, honor your creativity, and honor yourself. Then just do it. Don't even think about it. And get clarity and take the next baby step. So if you need some free resources on blogging, I have a free email course called the 10-Day Successful Blog Guide. The link will be below for you to click on if you want to sign up for that free course. I also have another course called the Bold Blogger Academy. This one isn't free, but it's so well worth the money, especially if you need a community of other people and other bloggers who are kind of in the same boat as you. You can talk to them, and then you can talk to me on some help on just getting your blog started and trying to grow it further and further. You can check it out at this link, and the link will be below too. So thank you so much for watching. I'm Jojo, and I love to grow myself in ways that put me outside of my comfort zone, like blogging, travel, lifestyle. You see that? I am the niche. Not blogging, not travel or lifestyle. But I still say these keywords so that people can have a better understanding of my content. And all of these are under my bigger mission. Anyway, please like and subscribe if you learned something from this video, and let me know which mistake you were doing in the comments below. Thank you. Take care, guys. Bye.